Hello, hello. This is your host, Vivian Dash, and you are in the Confessional Playground Podcast. In our first episode, I told you a story through the point of view of a content creator. Today, you are about to listen to the story of a follower. Just a little observation. All names, locations, and any recognizable details are changed, so the stories are completely anonymous. A follower messaged me asking, Vivian, how many people are usually involved in a can show? My answer was very simple. 2, unless you have arranged a group chat. Should be only you and the model, right? I learned that depending on your profession, that's not as simple. This is the story of Bond, James Bond. Here we go, confession time. James Bond is in his late 30s and he works in a very specialized field. I don't want to say his real job, but let's say he needs a high level of security clearance to do his work. So let's say he's a spy. Working and studying a lot, James Bond never had much time to dedicate to relationships. But who doesn't love good morning texts, swapping nudes once in a while, and getting off on can? I know I do, and James Bond liked it too. Many years ago, he met this camgirl who he clicked perfectly. Let's call her Sexy Secret. I don't want to say where this woman actually lives, but for the purpose of this story, let's say she's Russian. James Bond and Sexy Secret had tailored the perfect girlfriend experience package. Although they were separated by thousands of miles and different time zones, he never felt as close to anyone before. You know, I completely understand that. Sometimes you just match with a person in a way that it feels as if you have known each other since forever. And that's what happened to James Bond and his Sexy Secret. James Bond was working and studying very hard lately because he was trying to get a promotion. This new position required a higher clearance level. According to what he explained to me, depending on the type of data a government official has to deal with, a different level of security clearance applies. Most jobs require a more basic background check, but once you are up the ladder, things get a little bit more serious and Uncle Sam needs to know more about you. There went James Bond for his interview. Drug test, clean. References, done. Background investigation, pass. And then his security agent brought up the subject of foreign contacts. He asked, James Bond, do you have any close and continuing contact with a foreign national within the last 7 years with whom you are bound by affection, influence, common interests, or obligations? James Bond's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu instructor is, well, Brazilian, just like me, by the way. The agent said that purely business relationships are not a problem. The neighbor down the street is Mexican and they always say hello. The agent said that basic social courtesy is not a problem. The agent reinforced it needs to be someone who you can prove to have close ties with continuing contact. And then James Bond realized it. His life had a secret, a very sexy secret. James Bond explained to me that although he and his favorite camgirl never met in person, they had exchanged physical goods. The agent said that buying from her wish list was not a problem because the transaction and delivery are mediated by a third party. But since he bought used pants that she personally wore and sent him by mail, knowing his full name and address, besides a handwriting postcard for his birthday that she sent once, that could classify the relationship as more than purely business, but close and continued contact bound by affection. James Bond got lost. Was his dream job at risk because he liked to talk to girls online? Of course, Sexy's secret wasn't a threat to national security. She was just his dirty little secret, his online girlfriend. That's all. For a moment, James Bond thought about hiding this relationship. Initially for fear of losing this opportunity that he worked so hard for, but especially for shame of having to explain to a stranger the particularities of his friendship with a camgirl. Something that not everyone can understand and many are quick to judge. But James Bond realized that hiding something harmless would only make it seem more suspicious. And sooner or later, that could lead him to real trouble. So he opened his heart and told the security agent all about Sexy's secret. The older man remained serious as James Bond unraveled his relationship with his Russian sexy friend. And when he was finally done, the agent smiled and said it wasn't an impediment to get his security clearance. All you need to do is report the contact so we can get her info in our file. Believe me, online relationships like yours are more common than you would think. It's not a big deal. Well, first problem solved. James Bond was relieved. He wasn't going to lose his promotion because of his online fun. He said to me, Vivi, I swear, if the advisor told me I would have to stop talking to camgirl for the rest of my life, I would think twice how worth this job was to me. What I do in my personal life should not be that much of an obstacle to serve my country. And you know what, James Bond? I agree. There's so much prejudice for everything related to sex, but cam shows and sexting and a girlfriend experience can be a very healthy outlet for the right type of person. You are both consenting adults and you are not hurting anyone. But here comes the second challenge. To make sure his sexy secret wouldn't interfere in his professional growth, he would have to give the girl's contact information to Uncle's son. And that could be crossing a line that she might not be willing to. Yeah, this is a very delicate subject for many creators, actually. While I know some camgirls who even use their government name online and have a P.O. box to receive gifts, other performers are very secretive about their personal details, even at lengths of hiding their age, for example. I have a friend who used to say, I am 18 since I was 18. So your mileage may vary, and James Bond didn't know how his favorite camgirl would react. James Bond told me, Vivi, I know her real name. I know where she lives. She told me before. But it's different to know something and to have her permission to share. She trusts me, and I wasn't going to break my promise to keep it a secret. James Bond prepared his speech. He told her they needed to meet on Cannes for a serious conversation, and he just opened his heart. Once again, he was taken by relief when Sexy's secret was thrilled with the news that he was considered for his dream job. And although he never shared any confidential information, she knew he worked hard and that he was applying for the promotion. Sexy's secret was more than happy to answer a few questions and allow him to share some of her information, even her link to the campsite where they met, so there is no suspicion on the nature of their online friendship. James Bond was hired for his new job at last and keeps in continuing contact with his sexy secret. Not much of a secret anymore, but sexy as ever. I hope you liked listening to the adventures of this follower with his favorite content creator. Thank you so much for listening to my podcast. I received some very great feedback and I can't be grateful enough. Are you like James Bond, who also watch camgirls or follow content creators? And want to tell me your story here for the Confessional Playground Podcast? Write to me. The link is on this episode description. And next week, we are going to talk about how to use Discord for naughty video chats. I will see you soon. Mwah!